This might be Bridgerton's most grounded love story, and here's why. What makes Bridgerton Season 4 Part 2 land for me was how deliberately it builds the central romance around contrast, particularly between Sophie and Benedict, and how that contrast is rooted in class. Because from the start, they're not just two people falling in love, they're two people existing in two different levels of society. You see it most clearly at the masquerade ball. Benedict moves through that space with complete ease. He belongs there, he's confident, he's almost detached from what the weight of the room represents. But Sophie, even in disguise, carries a different type of awareness. There's hesitation in how she moves and how she speaks, because for her, the world isn't neutral, it's conditional. And that dynamic continues even after the reveal. When Benedict reconnects with Sophie outside of the fantasy setting, there's a shift. He was clearly drawn to her, but he still operated from a place of privilege. And we see this when he assumes that their connection can exist without consequence. For him, it was emotional, but for Sophie, it's structural. When Benedict suggested a version of their relationship that existed outside of societal rules, for him, it was freeing and even almost romantic. But for Sophie, it's actually limited, because what he was offering still kept her in a position without status and without security. That was their class divide in action, and Sophie articulated this so clearly. She wasn't just rejecting him emotionally, she was rejecting the terms he was unconsciously setting. She wanted more than being hidden or just existing in the margins of his world. What Part 2 did really well was force Benedict to confront this. You start to see him unlearn his entitlement, especially in the later episodes. He begins to understand that love isn't just about feeling deeply. It's about what you're willing to change and what you're actually willing to risk publicly. And that helped him make the decision to choose Sophie openly. Not privately or conditionally, but in a way that challenges the very system that he's benefited from. And that's why this ending works, because it doesn't feel like a fairy tale where class magically disappears. It feels like two people actually choosing each other despite the structures actively trying to keep them apart. That's all from me. I'll see you Wednesday. Bye.